The connection basically already back. So basically you can see that the second one is about the Task Force on Climate-Related Financial Disclosure Framework, and the third one is the Carbon Disclosure Project. I will let you know in further detail. So for the Task Force on Climate-Related Financial Disclosure, basically you just disclose like what is related in terms of the climate change. I can give you some example. So basically, you can indicate about the climate risk and opportunity. And then secondly, you can also mention what are your strategy in the short, medium, and long term. And then also, what is your risk management process, like how you identify, assess, and manage your climate risk. And then lastly, it's like you will disclose about the Scope 1, Scope 2, and Scope 3 emission. So the Scope 1, Scope 2, and Scope 3 emission is about carbon accounting. Actually, there is another trainer called Aaron Lau. He conducted this course today. But today, I will just briefly describe what is Scope 1, Scope 2, and Scope 3 emissions, so at least you have some idea. Okay, so basically the Scope 1 to 3 emission, right, is from the Greenhouse Gas Protocol. So I will let you see the video, then you will understand what is Scope 1, Scope 2, and Scope 3 emission.
Based on scopes. Dividing your emissions into the 3 scopes helps you find the best way to reduce your emissions. The first scope is emissions from activities and sources owned or controlled by you, also called direct emissions. This can be burning fuel in an on-site boiler or running vehicles on site. Scope 1 focuses on emissions created directly by operations within the company. This means that you are in control and can act directly to reduce your GHG emissions. To calculate Scope 1, you first need to define the organizational and operational boundaries of your company. Scope 2 includes GHG emissions from the electricity that you consume. The actual emissions occur when the electricity is generated, but the user of the electricity will be accountable for the emissions. You can reduce emissions by lowering your overall energy consumption or choosing electricity from fossil-free or renewable sources. Scope 3 is the largest scope, encompassing all indirect emissions from sources not owned or controlled by you, like the production of purchased goods or services, transportation of products, employees commuting, and much more. Scope 3 is divided into 2 subgroups, upstream and downstream. Scope 3 upstream means all emissions that occur before your production. Scope 3 downstream is all emissions that occur after the product leaves the gates of your company. Although Scope 3 is the most difficult to influence, you can still make a big dent in these emissions through systematic review of your supply chain and choices of transport solutions.
Alright, so do you have better understanding what is Scope 1 to 3 emission? Yes? So maybe one of you, can you explain what is Scope 1 emission?
Gas emission to the operating activities.
Yes, correct. How about Scope 2? Anyone?
Your use of energy.
Yes.
Right? You use your energy from outside, the energy, the power provider.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Whether it's the energy is from fossil fuel or clean, that harmful to environment, or using renewable energy.
Very good. How about Scope 3? Yes, very good. So basically from the video you can easily understand what is the difference between scope 1 to scope 3 emission. Okay, so basically, right, what I want to show you is greenhouse gas. There are several types of gas. One is carbon dioxide, one is methane, one is nitrous dioxide, and another type of gas as well. But carbon dioxide consists most of them under the greenhouse gas emission. And then just now what you mentioned is correct. Scope 1 is the direct emission within your company or your factory. Scope 2 is about your energy, electricity. Scope 3 is somewhere outside, like the upstream and the downstream activity. So what upstream activity comprises under scope 3? So upstream activities, right, they are like leased asset, employee commuting, purchase goods and services, business travel, waste, food and energy, transport and distribution, and capital goods. And then for the downstream, right, you have transport, process of sold product, use of sold product, lease facility, investment, franchise, and end-of-life treatment. And then, actually, if you never review what kind of emission that you already emitted from your company, right, you no need to care about scope 3 emission. You just care about scope 1, what carbon emission that you produce from your company, and scope 2 emission, what kind of energy and electricity that you use in your company. That is very good already. Scope 3 comes later. Yeah. So, how you calculate your scope 1 emission? Normally, they use the activity data times the emission factor equals to the GHG emission. And basically, right, the scope 1 to scope 3 emission, you can use the carbon accounting software to calculate. And basically, what I know from one of the SME association is that they are planning to provide SME free carbon accounting software to use. So basically, if let's say in the near future you want to calculate your scope 1 and 2 emission, you no need to worry because you will be able to enjoy the accounting software.
If I use ChatGPT, can I get the data?
Not accurate.
Huh?
Not accurate.
Then where and up can I?
You need to use the carbon accounting software, and when I know the carbon accounting software is free to use, then I will update.
ChatGPT is like you ask them everything, they will give you everything.
Not everything. Not everything is accurate.
It's cost me $20 you know, per month.
Can be based on different industry. Like can be based on construction, plantation, agriculture as well.
What are the commonly used software now?
It is a lot actually in the market.
Yeah. You download it. They have an app, so you use the app, then they can do the calculation for you. You need to download their program.
You need to install the software, then you only can calculate. Yeah, need to key in the data also.
Do they use the apps or program?
Actually, a program.
Not in the apps, not in
Not the mobile app. You need to access from your desktop. Not really Excel format. Basically, this carbon accounting software, right, is like GHG calculation. Okay, if you want to use Excel to calculate, yes, but not too accurate.
So it's just a user-friendly program that.
Yes.
Depend on the. Let's say I'm in the oil palm plantation. They will give you a category. Then is something like that.
Yes.
User-friendly program, is it?
Yeah, something like this. Correct. You have any question just now? Oh, I thought you have question. For now, I mean the one that free to use one, that one is not available in the market. But once it's reviewed in the market, then I can update.
Because it just now suggests that can use ChatGPT, right? Maybe you can compare like the same set of data and then see what's the result. If it's the same.
But I think ChatGPT is like in terms of creating the proposal is good, but in terms of specific calculation, maybe not so. Yeah. Yes.
But it is actual one, I think they can do it.
It will come later.
I'm traceable.
Yeah, maybe.
Yes.
Right now, the data is still new for ESG, right?
Yes. Okay. So at least you have some understanding about carbon accounting. And basically, right, for scope 1 emission, what you can do to reduce the scope 1 emission is that you can replace the fossil fuel into with like bio energy related fuel, or basically you can change your vehicle into electric vehicle. So this is the strategy. And scope 2, same thing. You also use the activity data times the emission factor equals to the GHG emission. But this one is about the electricity calculation. And for scope 2, right, normally you can replace the existing source of electricity source to the renewable energy, like the solar panel, for instance, to generate electricity. Okay, just now I mentioned calculate scope 1 and 2 emission is the starting point, but to reduce the greenhouse gas emission is the next step. So basically what I recommend for the SME is that you can just care about scope 1 to 2 emission first, and then scope 3 is considered as advanced stage already. So you can see that Grab, they have several levels to reduce the greenhouse gas emission. First is to remove the carbon. Second is to have sustainable business and tech practice. Third is to have renewable energy. And then fourth is to transition to low emission vehicle. Sorry, just now actually suppose that need to start from the low emission vehicle first. Then you only come to the final stage of carbon avoidance and removal.
So this way, how long would it take for Grab? Grab is established about 4 years ago, is it? 4 years
I
ago,
think at least
Grab,
seven.
So they bought over the Uber from Malaysia operation and Singapore. So now probably in 100 hailer, they probably they use almost 100, which is fossil fuel vehicles. Yeah? So to transform that into, say, I want to, for the next 10 years, I'm going to reduce 50% of EV instead of using that. So in Malaysia's perspective is because it's all money matters, right? So you don't expect your e-hailer driver to change your vehicle. So you're going to take them when they talk about it's very nice for them to wear out their policy. Roadmap, yeah, we call it roadmap for the next 10 years.
Yes.
And practically to implement them is a different question.
Yeah, understand. Yeah, because sometimes they review that they want to do that in their sustainability report, right? But in reality, they didn't achieve. So sometimes.
So whether this is sort of beautify your report to the investor, rather than practically they ask a question when come to the AGM.
Yes.
Or the CEO will not be able to answer anyway this sort of question.
Yes,
right?
correct.
Bought by the investor.
Yes, correct. But I mean, for Tawau here, right? I think we no need to be so ambitious to review all this strategy, but we can do 2 things. Let me find the marker is here. Okay. So the first thing, you just review your sustainability policy. like what you do for environment, social, and governance. And you can refer to the case study from Sawit Kinabalu, which I will illustrate in the slide later, and also Taekwon Group of Companies. And second step, for you to embark in your sustainability journey, you just need to review your scope 1 and 2 emission. That is very simple. So it's not that difficult for you to achieve sustainability journey. Okay, just now I mentioned there are some carbon accounting software for you to use. One of them actually is from the MGTC Low Carbon Operating System. For now, their annual subscription fee is 5,000. And there is another software called Pantas. Pantas, they also review how to calculate the scope 1 to 3 and show you the data. But this software, as what I understand from the market, is even more expensive than NGTC. I think at least 10K.
But when you say the software,
Yeah.
so people subscribe and download it. It is for system computer system can be used maybe for so many computer terminal or so many subsidiary company, or just one company, apply one company.
Actually can be used from many companies. So that means like if there is more companies subscribe this particular carbon accounting software, that means this carbon accounting software is quite popular in the market.
You mean let's say I have 20 companies. I have one, then I have other subsidiary company.
Yeah.
Can I just buy one only?
Actually, yeah, you can choose to buy one.
Company have to buy each of it. There's certain A, certain B, certain is under my company.
I think buy one.
Or buy each company have to buy one.
I think buy one enough and buy the one that is suitable to your company. Yes. All right, just to briefly go through, Carbon Disclosure Project is also one of the climate disclosure reporting framework that you can apply. But actually for now, this Carbon Disclosure Project, or just now what I shared, the TCFD, this tool is just like the reference. But what most important that you need to do is just to review your scope 1 to 2 emission. That is good enough. Yes. All right. So now I share some of the global sustainability reporting standard. There are several of them. One is Global Reporting Initiative. Second is the IFRS S1 and IFRS S2. Third one is the Sustainability Accounting Standard Board. And then fourth one is about the European Sustainability Reporting Standard. So for the Global Reporting Initiative, GRI, this is very commonly used by the public listed company and even some of the SME as well. But for now, if you're not really doing sustainability report, basically this one also can come a bit later. Later, I will recommend you a local sustainability reporting framework that you can use first, and you can come up with a simple sustainability report already. So this one is just the adoption level for Malaysia. Basically, Malaysia, there are like 61% of the company, but I think this is for public listed company. They are using GRI, just to show you the data. I think this one I can skip because this is not that important. And then this IFRS S1 and S2, right? Basically, this one is mentioned in the National Sustainability Reporting Framework. But this one, right, actually also not that important for the small, medium enterprises, only applicable to those small, medium enterprises that have 300 to 400 employees. So basically, this one, just to share with you, this is just some of the sustainability related disclosure that the bigger companies that need to follow through. So basically, IFRS S1 is about the Task Force on Climate-Related Financial Disclosure, which I just shared earlier, is about the climate-related risks and opportunities, and it's about Scope 1 to 3 emission. And then for the IFRS S2 is about, it's also related to TCFD, but this one is like they have industry-specific disclosure. That means you have to relate to your industry, like plantation or agriculture, for instance. And the Sustainability Accounting Standard Board, basically this one also relate to the industry, but this Sustainability Accounting Standard Board, it covers like 77 industry. That means it's more specific disclosure that you can use, but this one also not compulsory for the SME at the moment. And then this European Sustainability Reporting Standard, this one actually is like, if let's say your company have relationship with Europe, then this standard is more important. But if let's say your company only trade locally, then this not really matter.
If let's say a company like
Yeah.
SME or a company actually you're doing let's say a sales dealer.
Yeah.
A dealer like maybe Mercedes-Benz
Okay.
or any industrial machinery. Yeah. So would that company, the local dealer, need to aware that this their supplier, the vendor supplier might request that you need to do this.
If let's say they deal with the overseas supplier and it's from Europe, they have to care about this. But if let's say they only deal with the local supplier, then only deal with the local one, local regulation. Yes. But this one is just for your own knowledge. Okay, this is what I really want to introduce to you. So basically, right, the third one that you can do in order for you to produce simple sustainability reporting is to refer to this SEDG, this Simplified ESG Disclosure Guide for SME in Supply Chain. Basically, it covers 5 sectors: energy, transport and logistics, construction and real estate, agriculture, and manufacturing. I understand maybe some of you are from plantation, but actually you also can use some of the indicators from agriculture as well. Because agriculture is about waste, plantation is also about that. So something that can refer to. And basically this only launched last year, and there are 35 disclosure. You can start from the basic disclosure first, then afterwards you only go for the intermediate and advanced level. And this SCDG it not cover the adoption of sustainability, assessment and mitigation of risk, and also identification of business opportunity. So the reason why SME should adopt SEDG is to have the global competitiveness and also to respond to different stakeholders like the customer, investor, bank, and regulator. And finally is to qualify for the incentive provided to the companies with enhanced ESG disclosure. So basically, these are some of the benefits. Until here, do you understand what is SEDG?
The one just now, you say ABC, point 1, point 2, point 3,
Uh-huh.
qualifies for incentive for companies
Mm-hmm.
with enhanced ESG disclosure.
Yeah.
So to qualify for incentive, right, you have it.
Yeah.
So this is qualified incentive, that means from the government
Yes.
authority,
Yes.
you can get, if you have report this, you get maybe tax break
Mm.
or subsidy or whatever.
Yeah.
Or subsidy for industrial development authority or something like that.
Yes, correct. Later I will explain further in terms
We
of.
come to later,
Yes.
the government have this sort of the announcement in the budget.
Yes, I will explain a little bit more in terms of the tax incentive and the government grants. Okay, basically just to show you that this SCDG, they follow some of the local and the international standard. Local is like Busan, Malaysia. International is like GRI, FTSE for Good, and ISSB. So basically, you can use the middle template to refer to. So the middle template is like later you can download from the website about the SEDG guide. Then you can tick which one you already applied. But this one comes later. And just to show you, there are many companies already adopt SEDG. Normally you can see it's like big companies or NGO or investor, etc., right? But don't worry, the small companies also can do that. Yeah, just now as what you asked, is like whether the NGO can do ESG. Can. There are many associations doing that. Yeah. Okay. This is basically about manufacturing sector, but I don't think there is any one of you from the manufacturing, right? So I can skip this part. Okay, this is just to show you the National Sustainability Reporting Framework. But as what I mentioned, this is only applicable to the listed company and also the non-listed company. That means like the big size of SME, they have like 300 to 400 employees. So this is not that important. But just to show you, actually, beside this SEDG, right? Your company also can have some ISO compliance. ISO is just one of the quality management standard. So the ISO, right, is very simple. Basically, right, you can do in terms of the environment, and then also about the social, like the occupational health and safety is very simple for your company to comply. And then finally, the anti-bribery also can actually. It's not that difficult. So these are some of the ISO standards that you can consider. Yeah. And you also can use the local standard, local quality standard, which is CRIM. So CRIM, right, it can be about the ESG system. And also it can relate to your reporting. So until here, are you clear about the CRIM and the ISO standard? Malaysia, yes. Can start from Syrian first, actually. Yeah, not that deep.
Syrian is not about your Syrian usually they see a sticker on the manufacturing goods, right? So this is standard. Everybody say, I want to buy a product which is Syrian. Just like light.
Yeah, normally it's for
switches,
product.
all these.
Which is the only for products.
So if let's say reporting wise, it can be applicable to any sector. But if let's say in terms of quality wise, yeah, normally it's referred to the product. Yeah.
Your oil palm produced on your plantation doesn't need a Syrian, right?
Oil palm needs MSPO. Huh?
MSPO is a MS 2520.
Yes.
MS.
Or if you have a MSPO cert, right?
Yes. Alright. So the certification part, right? Actually, I will mention about MSPO a little bit. But before I mention about MSPO, I would like to show you this video.
Bagaimana syarikat SME dapat memenuhi kewajiban dan juga kesilapan yang dilaksanakan oleh para profesional dan apakah kelebihan dan kejayaan yang akan diperoleh apabila kesilapan dan kewajiban ini dipenuhi. Before discharge.
Smart Good Environmental Choice Australia, actually we Singapore green building product, and also we can calculate our product carbon footprint for our various products as well. We actually look for the ISO 14001 as well as we practice the 3R, reduce, reuse, and recycle. So this actually helps us a lot in building the sustainable culture and also to educate our employees to have a more sustainable mindset. Start small, start now, skill up.
Macam-macam kelebihan dan keuntungan bakal diperoleh antaranya pelepasan cukai, akses ke pasaran global dan juga akses untuk mendapatkan pelbagai dana dan juga grant yang disediakan oleh pihak kerajaan. Itulah bunyinya piawaian dan juga penerapan dalam hal sustainable certification. Start small, start now, do your part.
Alright, what do you learn from the video?
Well, no matter what, especially for manufacturing sectors, they say they start now, yeah, in future, all the operator of industry are hoping that with that, then they can sell their product better, accepted by consumer overseas, and also try to get a lot of incentive from government or not. From trade from MIDA whatever, right? Industry development or authorities. That's all, right? Money matter.
Okay, thanks for sharing. How about you? How about you?
Like if they don't start now, then they'll be left behind. So yeah, they're calling everyone to start small, start now, do your part.
Great. How about both of you?
Same thought.
Okay. Thank you for sharing. So basically, right, you can see that the certification, it can be about eco-labelling scheme, like to have eco-friendly packaging. This one is introduced by SIRIM. And then also have the My Hijau mark, that one was mentioned in the video. So basically is to meet a specific environmental standard to produce the green product. And next one, I think some of you will be familiar, is the MSPO, because if let's say you don't have this MSPO, Malaysian Sustainable Palm Oil, then you will face penalty, and also you will have less competitiveness as well. And just now, I know one of you mentioned about the green building. Yeah, green building, basically, you can refer to Green Building Index. It's one of them that recognize the building to be green.
This Green Building Index,
I'm
paying particular attention to this one. This Green Building Index is by a private company or by a government?
By the private architecture association. Basically, Malaysia have two. One of them is Green Building Index, and is like formed by this architecture association. And then there is another one. And then there is another one called Green RE. That one is created by Malaysia Real Estate and Housing Developer Association. Yes.
So what are the ways, the government will come say recognition of these two certifications, right? So are they both acceptable to the government?
Okay, both of them are acceptable. But for this Green Building Index, right, it's very common in other countries as well. But this Green RE, right, is established from Malaysia itself, and normally the Malaysia building will be green certified by this Green RE. But some of the building in Malaysia, they certified by Green Building Index also. So depends on which developer they prefer which kind of index.
Both can be used.
Can be used.
So this is a benchmark set in Malaysia about Green Building Index, basically.
Yes, correct. Alright, I think this is something that you are interested, right? Like the grant and the tax incentive and the bank initiative for SMEs. Alright, so there are some of the incentives that are available. First is the Green Technology Tax Incentive. Second is the Low Carbon Transition Facility. Third one is Greening Value Chain Program. Fourth is High Tech and Green Facility. Fifth one is about the Credit Guarantee. Sixth is about Green Technology Financial Scheme. And then 7 is Domestic Investment Accelerator Fund ESG Adoption by MIDA. Then lastly is the Market Development Grant by MATRED. So I will introduce each of them in detail. So the green technology, right, is normally about the solar renewable source, and then you can actually refer to here. So it's about renewable energy, energy efficiency, green building, green data center, and integrated waste management. But what will be more related to the plantation, I think will be the waste management, and renewable energy can be considered as well. So basically you can see that, right, they have also some incentive for the green hydrogen, integrated waste management, and also renewable energy as well. So the renewable energy, you can see that there is solar, biomass, biogas, small hydro, wind energy, and geothermal. So it's quite a wide range that you can apply.
So this one here, so it's not like a pioneering status. It's not like say, okay, I'll give you this, only 70% of your income. Right?
Understand?
So if I earn 1,700,000, which is tax exempted, yeah?
Yeah, tax exempted.
Up to 5 years.
Okay.
Oh, okay. It's not like a pioneering status you can have 10 years.
No, it's like it's limited in certain period of time. Yeah, because the government want to encourage you to adopt first. Then afterwards, once your operating costs lower, then you have the ability to cover by your own. Yeah, but I mean, at least it's something that the government can provide when the time you adopt ESG for the first few years.
Yeah, I'm really interested. It's just on your previous slide.
Okay.
Geothermal, which is
Yeah.
not covered by Europe.
Mm.
The only places that at the moment the government recognized is by a geological department is Tawau.
Yeah, correct.
But it was disappointingly, the project didn't take off.
Yeah, understand.
So why is that? So the government should have put more money into that project.
Yes, but just now as what we discussed, it can be funding issue, it can be environment, it can be infrastructure. So yeah, politics evolve. Alright, so this one, right, this one is just specifically for the solar. So the solar depends on the capacity that you apply. If let's say your capacity is not that much, then the incentive period will be 5 years. But if let's say you have a large solar farm that you want to develop, then you can have the incentive period for over 10 years. So next one will be the low carbon transition facility. So basically, Bank Negara, they do provide some incentive for the SME to do like the sustainability certification and also sustainable material and improve the energy efficiency of building and applicants and also on-site renewable energy generation equipment.
So what's the low carbon transition facility? You mean the fund, soft loan or whatever, given to company who wish to sort of change their energy consumption from fossil fuel to solar or whatever.
Yes.
So that they apply the cost of transition, is it? Let's say it costs me X million to use green energy or renewable energy. So that is the amount of loan that the Bank Negara is going to give to the company.
Yes. So basically, right, Bank Negara already listed some details that 1 billion allocation is from the Bank Negara, but another 1 billion is from the participating financial institutions. So it depends on which bank they participate. Then you can apply from both banks. And basically, it's like this low carbon transition facilities is up to 10 years, and each SME maximum they have 10 million to finance, and this financing rate is 5% per annum inclusive of the guarantee fee. And basically this fund already available since 2 years ago.
5% that's cheap. Interest of 5% is not that cheap. A fund for food is 3.75%.
Okay, so Bank Negara also have greening value chain program. So basically, SME have access to the technical training and the tools to measure and report the GHG emission. And basically, the cost of training and tools, it can be borne by the financial. And next, there is the high-tech and green facility. So if let's say your SME is doing like digital tech, green tech, and biotech, then you can apply this facility as well. And the financing rate is up to 3.5% per annum. That one is without guarantee, or up to 5% per annum inclusive of the guarantee fee. And the eligible sector, it can be manufacturing, services, and those who involve like the green tech, like the renewable energy, clean transportation, agri-tech, biotechnology, digital, and for IT technology. So the next one I would like to share is the portfolio guarantee scheme. Basically, this offers more financing for the SME to adopt ESG. And MGTC basically is like, it involves like 6 sectors, like energy, manufacturing, transport, building, waste, and water. And it provides 60 to 80% of government guarantee on the green component cost, financed by participating financial institution, as well as rebate of 1.5% per annum on interest or profit rate. So basically, I think for your side, probably the waste and water, as well as the energy sector will be more applicable. So you can see that basically, it can be about the solar project, or it can be about energy efficiency, and also green building construction, and the electric vehicle charging infrastructure. And then the next one I would like to introduce is MIDA. MIDA, they have the Domestic Investment Accelerator Fund, which is in terms of ESG adoption. So basically, they give the opportunity for the small and medium enterprises in the manufacturing and some of the selected service sector like the logistic sector to transition into ESG practices. And then their funding is either 50-50 or 70-30 sharing basis. And the maximum reimbursed amount is 500K per company. Yeah. And lastly is Matric. Matric, they also have the market development grant, and basically is to promote the Malaysia-made product or services. And basically the lifetime limit for this grant is around 300k, and it's suitable for the SMEs, Chamber of Commerce, Trade and Industry Association, professional bodies as well.
Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah, so you can look into that.
One time of for 100 days celebration for
So basically you can see that government has a lot of tax incentive and grant available. And then also the financial institution, they also provide a lot of incentive as well. And they will increase the funding as well for the ESG initiative. But what I want to mention is sometimes if let's say you want to get the bank to approve your funding in order to fund your ESG initiative, you also need to look into 5C. So it can be the borrower history and background, and also the market economic situation, owner investment into the business, ability to repay the loan, and also available asset to back the loan, and also about the climate change and ESG aspect. That means they want to make sure that these loan proceeds are not used to harm the environment. And these are some of the checklists when the time you submit the application to the bank. So it can be a copy of all director, shareholder, partner, IC or passport, and also the allocation of share, certificate of incorporation, audited and management account, debtor and creditor aging list, and also 6 months bank statement. And also you need to mention like your details of what you done for the sustainability, so you only can apply the loan.
This one here.
Yes.
You know this document.
Yeah.
Is there a consultant company that you have the company to apply with the payment of service fee? Are there any company in Malaysia?
Actually, for now, I only have the network from the JC3 SME focus group. So if let's say you want to understand further detail on how to apply the loan, then perhaps can link up. Yeah. But they are the ones who come up with this document checklist. So basically, what I want to share is SME financing is an ongoing journey. But if let's say you can fully utilize some of the initiative from the government and from the bank, then from there actually it can help you to adopt ESG further. So until here, do you have any question for this part? Okay. Alright, so it comes to almost the second last part of the session today. So this is about the case study and also the action planning. So the case study, right, just now actually I mentioned about Sawit Kinabalu. So Sawit Kinabalu, right, when the time you check their website, they actually listed some of the environmental, social and governance strategy. And environmental, basically they mention about the environmental management policy, whereby want to have more efficient use of resources, and also to prioritize energy efficiency, reduction of greenhouse gas emission, and also the protection of biodiversity. And then for the land policy is that they want to ensure that this palm oil plantation not conflict with other people's right, and then also avoid planting the palm oil on fragile land, and also to protect the high value ecological areas, and also to promote sustainable land use and management practice. And then for the social side, basically Sawit Kinabalu emphasized about equal opportunity employment and freedom of association policy, And then also about the human rights policy. That means want to have fair treatment of the workers and safeguard the rights of women and children, for instance. And lastly, it's about the governance policy. It's about the whistleblower policy and the transparency policy. So, whistleblower policy actually is like I mentioned in the earlier slides. So basically, just something that the company that can refer. And then transparency basically is like to ensure that the annual report, management policy, and then organization structure information is being reviewed in the company website. Case study 2 is about Taekwon. So Taekwon, right, they have the no deforestation, no peat policy, and environmental policy. So the first no deforestation, no peat policy, that means that they emphasize about high conservation value area and high carbon stock forest, and also zero burning policy. And environment is basically about to comply and related regulation and link to the environmental impact, and then also emphasize about waste management, energy efficiency, and greenhouse gas reduction initiative. For the social side, Taekwon emphasize about occupational safety and health policy, and also no exploitation policy, that means no forced labor, no child labor. And lastly is about whistleblower policy as well. And this whistleblower policy, they also emphasize about the illegal activities, corruption, and violation of company policy. And last but not least, beside the local case study, I also want to show you about the national case study. So the national case study that you can refer to basically is about Saint Darby Plantation. So Saint Darby, right, they have some policy. First is the no deforestation and peatland protection. They emphasize about high conservation value and high carbon stock forests, and also greenhouse gas reduction. That means they will use the RSP or PALM GHG calculator to measure and reduce greenhouse gas emission, and also mention about zero burning policy. Biodiversity and conservation is about to protect the wildlife and maintain ecological balance. And then lastly is about the waste and the water management. That means to emphasize about reduce, reuse, and recycle approach. So until here, do you have like better understanding like how you can list your sustainability policy in your company? Okay? Okay. So for the social side, right, Saint Darby actually done in terms of fair labor practices and also community engagement and support. That means they do some educational initiative, healthcare support, and economic empowerment project for local communities. Third one is the occupational safety and health. That means they will do regular risk assessment in order to ensure the worker work in safety condition. And then governments, that means they have the transparency and reporting. That means they have sustainability report. They emphasize about like how they do their sustainable development goals and how they comply with certain standards like the Global Reporting Initiative. And they also emphasize about whistleblower protection and also about the governance structure. The governance structure, as what you learned earlier, that the sustainability governance, you have the pyramid structure and you can clearly indicate the responsibility. So basically, right, this is just to show you how Saint Darby do the maturity assessment. So they put some of the environmental, like the green one, such as climate change and energy management, fire and haze in the diagram. And then they also put the human rights and fair labor practices, health and safety into the diagram too. And then like the product quality and safety, which is number 6, they also put in the diagram as well.
This is applied to their company.
Yes, correct.
Irrespective of area of practice, right?
Yes, correct.
It's applied to Malaysia, Indonesia, Papua New Guinea, or even Africa.
Yeah, correct. So basically this one just to show you that under the sustainability report, normally they will specify like what kind of sustainability reporting standard they use, and then what are the specific they put under this report. So for example, if let's say they use the global reporting initiative, right, then they will specify like they will put some of the activities or governance structure, and then like policy commitment, etc. But for now, just need to follow the SEDG. That is good enough. Yeah. So you can see that basically, Sign Darby, they listed what are the things they already done for climate change, biodiversity, fire and haze, and also what they already done for health and safety, human rights, community rights, diversity and inclusion, and supply chain. So this is just some of the reference, but actually you no need to put that detail like what are the specific target and what are the specific progress that you already done. But what you need to do is just to list some of your sustainability policy. So these are just further example like how they show in terms of their product quality and safety, customer privacy, corporate governance, and also the operation efficiency. And this is just to show you the example of their sustainability governance structure. So they have the main board, good managing director, chief sustainability officer, and sustainability committee, and they will specify like what kind of role they play in each specific position. Okay, now I check the time. Okay, this one, right, I think we can skip this part because I understand all of you're not really doing sustainability reporting, and also you just started your basic sustainability journey. So what you can do is you can just download this SEDG framework. Then from there you can tick the box like what you already done for your company. So I just show you some example. So basically it's like you can see when the time you download this PDF, right, what kind of environmental indicator that you already done, for example emission, whether you already reached the basic or whether you haven't reached the basic yet. So this is just to show you like what are the indicators that SEDG already listed. So it can be scope 1, 2, 3 emission. It can be about energy. It can be about water. It can be about waste. It can be about materials. And then for the social side, it can be about human rights and labor practice, which we go through in the earlier slide. And then also about the employee management, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And then also about occupational health and safety, community engagement. And for the governance side, basically cover the governance structure, policy commitment, so like the code of conduct, anti-corruption, etc. is covered there. And then also like the risk management and reporting, anti-corruption, customer privacy. And then after you've done this SEDG, you can just put some of the information like your company name, date of disclosure, disclosure period, and your location, and what kind of entities included, and what is the location. Then you can produce simple sustainability report already. So this one just to show you some of the referencing, like what kind of the environmental indicator that you can include in your business. So like the emission management, energy management, water and waste, and then labor practice, safety and health, employee benefit, corporate social responsibility, and also about the culture and commitment under the governance pillar, integrity and anti-corruption, risk governance and internal control, and also the board of director management, business continuity, that one also can be part of it, and the data protection. Yeah, so basically these are the information that I will share to you, so don't worry. So in the end, right, I just want to ask, what do you think is the push factor for Malaysia SME to pursue sustainability? Maybe you can give your opinion.
Force feeding.
Force?
Force feeding.
Oh, okay. Regulation.
Supposed to be the tax incentive, but we didn't really talk about tax.
Tax incentive, is that? Oh,
You touch base about the grants, but there's nothing about the tax.
oh, the tax, that means you want to understand in more detail, right?
Yeah, tax sanctions.
That one, the specific information I also can pass to you after the session. Yeah.
Because for us, we can't really produce a full set of all these ESG things. Yeah.
But more interested in terms of like when the time you do ESG initiative, then you can apply certain tax incentive, right? Okay, that one I can follow up after the training.
Okay.
Yes, no problem. Any thoughts? How about you? Yeah, what are the push factors for Malaysia SME to pursue sustainability?
I think mainly it's still the government. Like when they put the law or something, then they have no choice. Then they have to.
Oh, okay. But actually,
It's very realistic. Exactly. So
This is false or it gives us sweet.
ah,
the carrot and stick dangling there. That's it. Yeah. That's right.
Otherwise, it's a cost to really do all this.
oh, you mean it's like okay?
Consider ESG.
Oh,
Cost to really
really doing that, is it? Ah, understand.
the team
To
all the documentation.
understand. But actually, as a starting point, I think you just need to do this sustainability policy and review in your company website. Then it's good enough. Yeah, just the first step first. Then the next step actually is like for today, this training is just like an awareness. It's like at least you understand what is ESG strategy, what is ESG reporting, and what are the tax incentive. And then if, let's say after this training, you have interest to apply some tax incentive or the grant, then that can be the next step for the implementation already. Yes.
I think the biggest achievement in terms of plantation industry is MPOB actually has successfully have done for all initially starting from they wanted to implement RSPO, which is a European by the Dutch company, right?
Yes.
This is very difficult to comply, right? Then they change the policy, but the Indonesia starting to implement Indonesia's ISPO.
ah.
So Malaysia, MSPO, and the Primary Industry Ministry panic. So they lower the expectation. Why don't we have a Malaysia standard or MSPO? So and then it basically is like carrot and stick. Okay, if you don't do it, you cannot sell your oil palm fruits already.
Yes.
Right? And they force the power industry say you accept those who have the certificate. So got no choice, isn't it? Everybody have to do it, right? MSPO.
Yeah.
So this is a success. Even though it's not perfect, because how can you afford a smallholder 100 acres, 40 hectare, to every year a certification, it costs you 20 to 40,000 consultants fee to certify your area again. So that's why, right? So initially is then they have a different way to do it, then how you group together and then get it done. So
understand.
may not be perfect. The standard is lower compared to RSPO, but I still get it done. One of the biggest achievement about this sustainability of Malaysia.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you for sharing. So basically what I want to share is that it's not only about the regulation, but it's about consumer awareness, and also about the investor. They also want to invest in the sustainable companies, so that's why more and more people talk about sustainability. So just want to share what are the risks if SME not complying with ESG. So basically it can be two sides. First is the transition risk. It can be like policy, legal, technology, market and reputation risk. Second, it can be the acute or the chronic risk. So the transition risk, you can see that for policy and legal risk is about the reporting requirement. Technology is about the cost to transition. And then market risk is about the changing consumer behavior. And then physical risk is about some of the extreme weather event like forest fire, landslide or flood. Actually, some of us already feel it already because of the climate change. And also the chronic risks like the coastal erosion or risk towards safety. So this one is like just to briefly mention about the potential risks. And then just to share the final part, like how ESG strategy can drive the sustainable business growth. So first one is about long-term profitability, attract impact investor, improve risk management, strengthen brand reputation, drive innovation and market opportunities, and also foster employee engagement and retention. Alright, so basically almost coming to the end of the session. So can you tell me what do you learn today? Learn a lot, but learn in terms of what? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. How about you?
Hearing this ESG wanted to start, but don't know where to start. But right now we know how they assess the ESG things, like they got the risk carbon calculator, things like that. They really measure the carbon and stuff. Also, probably the action plan on how should we start. Start from the policies and stuff.
Very good. How about you?
More confident.
Nice. How about you? Very good. How about you?
Okay. First, getting to know you. No. Number two is basically I have a fair bit of knowledge about ESG. Yeah?
Okay.
First, touching on that, when I was have this project with Santabi, yeah. So we were doing some sort of property consultancy with them, and the first one I come across is about the really catch me is HVC, high value conservation area. They were very conscious of that, and also they have abandoned hilly area of more than 50 degrees that completely abandoned the oil palm plantation, and they wanted to leave it as it is, regrow the jungle. This is their first environmental issue. Then secondly, I touched in Sandabi is they were being caught say they're not allowed to sell. They were practicing labor, right? Labor issue, child labor, right? They've been banned by the US for selling Felda and Sandabi. Not allowed to sell that. It's forced labor exactly. So they were being banned and by the US and not allowed to sell the product, and it could be influenced by other European countries. Yeah. So it comes to that is basically ESG is a very good platform. Yeah. So I would say is long road ahead for SME.
Yes, correct.
So we are only touching all these ESG. We are touching say scope 1 and 2. Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, yeah, that's it. And government have to have a strong view.
Yes.
To implement to push through this policy.
Yes.
Right. For SME is if they don't want to buy our product, we have to force to do it. Right?
Yes.
Let's say the guy here is selling fertilizer. Right? He's right import from Germany. If the German say you want to sell you want to buy my glyceride, what do we have in your ESG? Forced to do it, right?
Yes.
Exactly. So actually, for us like a small SME, yeah, a lot of us here is the Tawau we think about what's my cost to set up. Wait, I need to set up a special department. I employ 3 or 5 employees to do this. Yeah, everybody full time on that. Yeah, you got somebody called query by whatever the common department. You need somebody to help you to do it. Yeah, the plantation, big plantation, they set up their own. Yeah, I visited some Papua New Guinea oil palm plantation. They're basically there. It was owned by a British. They already have their own called MSPO, RSPO department. It's sort of employed more than 10. So basically some Malaysian as well. So they basically have to look after this. Yeah, it's a cost.
Yes.
If the government wanted to push through this, first is they must give some sort of subsidy or tax incentive is very easy, right?
Yes.
If you have done this, I'll give you a tax like 5 years, 10 years incentive. So it's a carrot and stick. A small SME because of cost structure input to their financial equation. They have to be sort of government have to push you, and then you have to do it, and it's sort of a combination. Yeah, it's like a cocktail of things that to make it a successful ESG compliance.
Yes, correct. Thank you for sharing. Very good.
I was louder please.
Alright, so basically the learning outcome for today is like at least you understand the importance of sustainability in professional and personal life, and also you can further develop and apply specific ESG strategy whereby I listed down here. You can start doing some already. And lastly is to choose the grant and tax incentive to apply. So further details of the grant and tax incentive, I can share the guideline, and if you have further questions, we can further communicate. So in the end, can you scan the QR code to do the HRDC evaluation? and then also Google review. So Google review is for my training provider AIHQ, and then I give you 3 to 5 minutes to do that. Is that okay? Yeah, now because this, okay. First one is for HRDC to evaluate my training today, and then Google review is just to review my training provider, or you can review myself, like how I perform as a trainer for today.
But don't give them give you the good review.
Thank you. Thank you. 可是那2个人的 feedback form 我还要他们做。OK。Stop recording. Stop recording. 不需要也可以的，
可以先到吗？你看你左边先到。